I'm gonna be flat out honest. Like, social media can be a game. Like, you do have to know how to play it well. It's life. Life is a game. You gotta know how to play business and learn business and play it well.
Hey everybody, welcome to Forbes Top Creators. I'm Forbes Assistant Editor, Stephen Bertoni, and today I'm here with Ian Boggs.
Let's go.
Here we go. Forbes Top Creator, new Forbes under 30. Ian has more than 45 million followers. 37 million across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you know it. He does comedy, skits, acting, you name it. Ian Boggs, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Wow, great intro. And everyone, Stephen Bertoni, amazing human that has helped me on so much in this journey. So
thank you so much, man. Well, thanks for coming. So you just landed from LA.
Yes.
You're on 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So thanks. You're looking peppy.
I'm trying.
I sent you to Stumptown. We're down in the village. We got Stumptown coffee.
Yes,
good to go.
Coffee. It was great. First time at Stumptown.
So what were you doing for the last week when you've had like 2 hours of sleep for the last week?
Well, yesterday morning we were promoting the Craven movie. They had like a big creator, they have like an activation where you go and you do the Craven workouts and meet Aaron, the actor of Craven, and then I got to edit the video for that to free publication right now for Craven, and publish that sometime this week. But before that, I was filming a bunch of videos. I was in acting classes and acting intensive, and just working really hard on auditions and making videos every single day.
What happens in an active intensive?
You get, can I swear on here?
Yeah.
You get your ass
You're wearing a tank top. By the way, I've been at Forbes for 16 years and you're the first tank top interview I've ever done.
I hope that's okay.
Your shoulders,
I was worried. This was too comfortable. So the cold is keeping me awake right now.
Your shoulders look great. It's fine.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. The calisthenics is working. So what were we talking about? So yeah,
an active intensive, yeah.
Your ass gets torn apart by whatever teacher you're learning from. Right now I'm with Ivana Chubbuck. She's awesome. She's taught like Halle Berry, Jim Carrey, Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm pretty sure at some point, who have the same birthday as. So
okay, nice.
Trying to live up to that, the acting part. And acting is all about raw, pure emotion and vulnerability. And to be able to share that is a very true, unique art and talent, I think. And that's what I want to work on so much.
Are you doing this acting intensive and improving your acting for social, or are you looking to...
For everything.
For everything, okay.
I mean, like, when I started taking acting classes, when I first came to LA, that was when I decided, like, I'm going to not care about how I think I need to be on social media and just go into it. And honestly, it helped me so much because that was when videos started to hit like 10 million every single time. There's a point in time on TikTok, I think 3 years ago, where like I posted twice a day. Every video got over 10 million views. And yeah, at that point, I was one of the fastest growing on TikTok. And then it grew over to YouTube and then Instagram, and then now we're here and doing everything. So.
What was your secret about getting those 10 million view videos?
I would say that there was a whole year of posting every day, like 1 to 3 times a day, before that huge amount of growth happened. Before that, I was doing like, I would say anime related videos, like teaching Japanese in a funny way. I think the original person to turn teaching a language in comedic skits into a business on social media. Now, so many people do it. But I can say confidently that I was one of the first people to do that. And then I just decided, like, I'm in LA. I moved out here because I want to write stories. I want to act. I want to inspire people and eventually direct and produce my own films on a very large scale. And if I'm not doing that, I'm not being true to myself. So one day I saw a comment that said, you should make your own anime. And I was like, and TikTok had just released the ability to reply to a comment with a video. Okay. So I took that ability and decided, let me write this short little summary of like an anime idea where like a comet falls to the planet and like gives people superpowers, and this one guy doesn't have any superpowers. And it was a whole story, but my background is photography and videography. So I used that to create cool B-roll and layer out like a trailer for a story.
Were you creating animation yourself?
No, I grabbed some B-roll from stock footage from online. Okay. I mixed with my own stock footage of me doing VFX videos as well. Okay. And posted that thinking that it would tank and not do well because it's so different from everything else that I'd done. It was so true to myself. And that was the first video that was truly original to me and unique to me that got over 1 million likes and 10 million views. And then from then on, I was like, you know what? screw it. I'm just going to be myself and post whatever I want to post. And then every single video after that started to hit 10 million. I was posting twice a day at that point. So I started doing the stories where I would like POV format, make stories, make little short films every single day. And that just took off and grew me from 3 million to over 10 million in 6 months. So this was 3 years ago on TikTok. And then of course, different things happen on YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, how does your mindset change when you first have that video that gets like 10 million views? Is there like a lot of pressure, or you're just like, you know what? You said like, I'm gonna be my own freaky self. I'm gonna just keep it going. Like, do you become like almost trigger shy because you're like, whoa, I have to get another hit, all these eyeballs around me? How did that work?
I think it was the exact opposite. And this is the funny part because you would think that maybe you do get a little trigger shy because you're like, oh, every single video has to be a hit. But once you have that first video where you really just let yourself be, let your own ideas flow, and that video is the one to like go the most viral and make you feel the best, that's all you want to do. Mm-hmm. Of course, like you got to take into account that like there is algorithmic, I guess, technicalities that go into a video. Okay. Like you got to catch someone's attention in the first couple of seconds, second even. And you have to figure out if a brand is going to align with this and want to work with that. That was like my main thing in the beginning. And then within those borders, finding what best describes you and then going all at it. And I think that was what gave me the ability after a year of just posting every day and like knowing what does well and then working in those factors of myself to make a video go viral that I love making.
Gotcha. Everyone mentions the algorithm and they want to like either game the algorithm or not game it or just understand how it goes.
Yeah.
In my mind, I picture like creators with like a giant like matrix like stat thing with like bars and thing. Like, do you actually go in, is there a way to look at stats and look at numbers, or is it more of a feel thing? Like you said, like you just know you need a fast hook and then the algorithm likes that. Like, how do you actually study it? Or is it just you look for features that work well and try to make sure you check those boxes in each?
I'm going to be flat out honest. Like social media can be a game. Like you do have to know how to play it well. It's life. Life is a game. You got to know how to play business and learn business and play it well. But I know every social media platform wants to do its best to help creators grow, which is awesome because creators are what keep people on the platforms. Yeah. But the other creators I talk to, myself even, what I find best and works best for me is just taking an hour a day or 2 hours a day, just intentionally to scroll through and see what's trending and looking at that and figuring out how I can do what's trending, but in a way where it fits a niche where I can still grow my business and work with other businesses.
Give me some shout outs. Like are there a few creators that you look to for inspiration or be like, this person's doing like really good stuff? Or is it random? Like, oh, this is cool. I don't know this person, but they fed my algorithm. Or like you always go to a few people to see what they're doing.
You're just with him, Adam W. He's one of my biggest inspirations. Now he's my friend, which is awesome. Also been kind of a little bit of a mentor. So that's shout out Adam. You've been crushing it.
Yep.
Absolutely crushing it.
Adam's on the show. We have a video sick. Coming in. So yeah,
dude,
we hit him up in LA.
You're awesome, bro. I love you. Okay. Him for Instagram because he's killing it on everything. Yeah. But YouTube, my audience is a little younger. So I would say other creators who do skits. There's a guy named Juge who's really awesome. He's based in Brazil. Luke Davidson, he's based in Canada. For me, Mr. Beast too. Yep. Like he's obviously number one, so I see what he's doing, but I don't want
number one top creator, Forbes, 3 years in a row.
Yeah, he's not. I don't want to make the same videos he does, but just looking at what he does in his videos and his thumbnails, like if you're not studying what the number one person is doing, what are you doing? But also like not because everyone gets inspiration, but what makes you different is you. Someone told me once that your niche is your face. Okay. If you use your face, your niche is your face or your voice. And I really resonated with that because every great artist takes from many different artists and then makes their own little thing. Yeah. And I truly believe in that. Like nothing is completely original. Sometimes they are, but like nothing is completely original in my mind. And so when you use your face as your brand, it just gives you so much power to like just take inspiration from everyone and make your own little thing.
I'm always fascinated with starting at the beginning. Like what creators are doing before they said they're going to get into this full time.
Yeah.
What they were doing before they hit it big. Like you mentioned Adam W. Adam was working as a valet. He says he still has his little, his little red vest before he hit it big in LA.
Wild, yeah.
I know you're like the international man of mystery. Tell me a little bit about like your background and also like what you were doing before you decided to make these videos 2-3 times a day during the pandemic.
It's so funny you say mystery because I just learned that Scorpios are meant to be like mysterious.
Oh, you're a Scorpio?
I'm a Scorpio, yeah. But I just got really into that. LA makes you get into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're definitely in that. You have crystals at home? Like what's
I do
going
have
on?
crystals at home, yeah.
You're going full in.
I'm going full in,
yeah.
But I love it. It's good for my content and like VFX and storytelling.
Yeah, perfect.
And writing. So before doing social media, I was a full-time photographer. I had my own business. I was doing weddings. I was doing grad shoots. I was doing fashion shoots. I remember my most paid shoot was I made $1,000 in 4 hours, and I was like, "Oh my god, you can make $1,000 in 4 hours? This is crazy."
Was that a fashion shoot?
It's a fashion shoot.
Okay, cool.
And I was like, and I only had to edit 10 photos. Like, what? This is crazy. Weddings, like it's 1,000. You can make good money from weddings but you got to work really hard. You got to make everyone happy. You got to be a real good people pleaser.
And those are long days. That's like a full day.
Yeah, and you got to deal with people's biggest day in their life for most of them. And it's very beautiful, but it just wasn't for me. Like I love doing it. I love photography. I love being creative, but I just always felt that I liked being in front of the camera a little more than I did being behind it. Eventually when I write, eventually when I direct, I also want to be in front of it in some way or form. Like that's, I think a lot of creators' goals. It's what they do. And so before that, I was, a photographer, videographer for everything I could do. I will mention one thing that I have a video on my YouTube channel. It's one of my first videos, so it's not one of the most viewed videos.
Okay.
But it's one of my first like long form testing videos that I did. It was titled "How I Scam My College and Pay Off My Tuition." And the story goes,
I'd watch that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I hope the algorithm picks it up later on when my long form gets, I don't know, like it's weird how like sometimes past videos just like blow up because the current ones blow up.
It's like evergreen.
So I hope that one blows up later on. Who knows?
All right, everyone watching who has to pay for college. Yeah. What is it? How to pay college by scamming?
How I
we don't want to scam.
How I paid off my tuition by scamming my college.
How'd you scam? Where'd you go to college first?
I'll tell. I went to college at UCI. UCI, I love you. Please don't.
What's UCI?
UCI is University of California at Irvine.
Gotcha. We're on the East Coast. I don't know all like the cool, the cool LA.
The UCs slang. Are like the cool.
I know that. Yeah.
Public, could be private, like type schools. And UCI is I think it's up there in the ranks now. It's like it's right below Berkeley. Berkeley is like it's USC. No, it's Stanford, USC,
UCLA.
I think UCI might be above UCLA. I don't know. I don't know what it is now.
That's
but
like
UCI is like up there now.
That's like I have a friend who went to UCSD Santa Barbara. Where I'm like, how would you stay in school? I would fail out if I was living in Santa Barbara.
Yeah, my dad didn't let me go there. He didn't even let me apply, I think. But I'm glad I went to UCI. And this is the reason. So the reason why the title of the video is I Scam My College is because colleges all have their own graduation photographers.
Okay.
And my sophomore year, end of my freshman year is when I left Greek life because I was tired of it. It wasn't for me. Nothing against it. It's just like it was not for me.
I was a frat boy too, believe it or not.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Which?
I was a Beta Theta Pi.
Oh, we didn't have that at my school.
Where were you?
I'm sure that was the best one though.
No, they're all different. They're all the same.
It was Sigma Chi.
Sigma Chi. We had that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but
Did you have derby days?
We did, yeah. That's so funny.
I was always jealous of derby days.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. Yeah, but it just wasn't for me. Yeah. And I found my people in nothing against it, but I found my people in like student government and creative clubs and like just organizations on campus. Like I was a student orientation leader.
Okay.
So many things, but found my people through photography, videography classes for creating. Mm-hmm. And long story short, I switched from bio pre-med into film and media studies because I realized that I need to be creating in order to be happy.
Oh, that's a big shift.
It is. So
if you create in biomed, you get in trouble.
Well, it's hard to be creative because you're always looking at books about things that are done a certain way all the
there's certain
time.
rules, otherwise people die. So you got to follow
Exactly.
these,
You
follow
have
these
to.
things.
You have to. Yeah. And of course, the best doctors are creative and
Yep.
like do things that are out of the norm but do it well. But so I scammed my college because, and it was all legal. Basically, colleges have their own graduation photographers who charge like $500, $300 per one photo.
Okay.
And it's like in a studio. It's like lighting is all the same for every single person.
Yeah, it's like the high
same
school. It's like a middle school photo.
Yeah, like why would I pay $300, $400 for that when I'm a broke college student? This makes no sense. That's like the price of. It's like half the price of rent already. And so, and now it's probably a quarter. But so I was like, this is crazy. And there were a lot of good photographers at my campus. They would all do like graduation photos. So I would learn from them, see how they're editing them, all that stuff. And then I would just see what could I do to make it me and better in the way of it being my own thing in my own mind. And so I just posted everywhere I could, like every UC college in California. I just posted like, hey, I would make myself the cheapest photographer at first.
Were you posting online?
Posting online on Facebook groups. I would post like, this is where the social media business mind started happening really well, where I would post on every Facebook college group I could of like seeing what the rates were for the general amount of graduation photos. Okay. And me having already, I would say being a good photographer at that point, I would charge lower than I guess, not the lowest, but lower than the average cost of what people were charging for photos.
Yeah, get a good deal.
Yeah, and then just to get as many shoots as I could my first year doing it, my sophomore year. And I think that year was like that year was the first time I made $5,000 in a month off my own my own photography. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. I can make money from this. And then the next year I made $7,000 from graduation photos, and then the next year I made $10,000 just like in a month from graduation photos.
Were you traveling from school to school?
I was doing like UCLA, UCI. I went to San Diego a couple times, and that was like a 3-hour drive. I think I went to Riverside, which was like a long drive too. But yeah, my car was torn apart by the end of.
That's smart. That's also a great way to. That's also a great way to kind of build a network. I'm sure you met some like amazing people through that.
Yeah, and that's something it's funny. Like every single job leads to a different job. Like before photography, I was what was it? Like this one's not too like leading, but I was a personal trainer. Okay. And I mean, you got to be active to walk around campus 5 times a day and take photos. But the photography led to content creation because that was what helped me learn lighting, angles, and differentiate my content from other skit creators and make it super high quality. Yeah.
Very cool. So let's fast forward now. So you've posted these, you started posting your kind of skits, if you will, like your,
I'm sorry. Yeah. I said scam because I ended up making more money than the actual college's photographers because I was doing my own thing and giving better photos.
Yeah, you got to put scam in there to get the clicks. I get it. I understand.
Yeah. There we go.
Provocative headline, and then you explain later.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But I want to fast forward to now. Now you're making your own videos, a lot of like point of view acting, if you will, skits. Yep. You're getting 10 million views. When did you start making money?
My first brand deal was. I will say now my brand deals go from anywhere from like 50,000 to 30. I mean, not 30. 300,000. If they're longer ones,
brand, is that like
they can go even higher.
What do you get for that? Like a few posts?
I would say 300,000 would be about.
They can move into your house, sleep on your floor. They can use your kitchen. Is that what
yeah, exactly. Yeah, at that point, yeah. But
No, so you said 5,
like around posts? 5 videos, okay. Yeah. Like a set kind of format, but for one video, like even 75,000, I think we've done once. That was pretty cool. I know some creators who are same size as me who've done $1 million for a post, like one post. That's crazy. But yeah, now I'm like, I don't know what even to do, but. I'm going to keep going because I don't want to ever quit.
Yeah.
That's not an option. And the question that I'm getting back to is...
When did you first start making money? And what was like your first deal? And then how do you think about this as a business now? Because you said like, the word creator is great, but what you guys really are, you're entrepreneurs, you're filmmakers, you're content makers, you're big businesses.
Yep.
What was your first deal?
So my first deal was for a little app where you could create your own avatar and talk to your pen pals around the world. Where I forgot the name of it, which I knew because it was a cool app. And I think I had like 100K on TikTok, and I was like, whoa, I think it was $75. And I was like, let's freaking go. I can make $75 from like just posting a little video. And I was so hyped for it, posted it. People loved it. They downloaded the app. I had my own face on there. And that was the first time I made money on social media.
For $75.
$75.
Okay.
So cool. The other time was there was this thing where you could only go live when TikTok was first getting bigger in the pandemic. I wanted it so bad that like when you hit 1,000 followers, you're able to go live. Okay. And so once I hit 1,000 followers, I would go live all night. Like I would have the camera on me while I was sleeping. And
that's a little creepy.
It was a little creepy, but I just wanted it so bad. I was willing to do whatever it took. And people enjoyed watching that for some reason. So I built an audience from that. And this one time I made $400 because I was doing these like thirst trap videos, and there were these like girls, I guess, who were like, we'll Venmo you $25 for each time you flex on live. And I was like, really? This has to be a lie. And I did it, and they sent me $25. And then that day I made $400 from just flexing. Do you have
an OnlyFans account yet?
I don't. No, I have no disrespect against it, but I can't do that.
Gotcha.
I'm not. Yeah.
So just reflect. So that was like a live kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And that I was like, oh, so cool. And then I had no idea, but my dad was there watching it, and he texted me and he was like, Ian, you ever do anything like that again? I'm disowning you. Like, you're never gonna do it. Okay, and none of that kind of stuff. Don't ever go in. And I was like, okay.
He's just jealous that no one's paying him for the flex.
No, it's fine. He's just being a good stern dad.
Yes.
But I mean, now of course, like I can do whatever I want, all that stuff. But what was I trying to say? So yeah, and then I didn't do a brand deal. Purposely didn't do a brand deal once I hit 1 million, because I just wanted to lock in on building a really strong core audience and trying to make money just from the videos itself.
Okay.
Because I think that was when TikTok launched its like creator fund. And then that was when YouTube Shorts came around too. And so I was like, okay, how much can I make without doing brand deals? Because also I don't want to do any until I hit 10 million. Okay. I was at 1 million and I was like on the verge of quitting. And then my dad told me, Ian, get your head out of your ass. You can make money from this. And I was like, stern military dad advice. That was great.
Your dad's in the Navy. Was a former Navy.
Yep. Super awesome. Thank you for your service, Dad. Love him. And I actually almost went into the military before going all in on social media.
That's a very different. That's a very binary different life right there.
Very different life.
Although they need some military creators. We don't think we have military creators.
Yeah, actually, that's
probably
true.
Against a lot of rules.
Yeah, but I mean, military, they do commercials,
of course
they need to bring people in.
A lot of former military podcasts and all that good stuff. So what are you doing? So why 10 million? Was that just a number in your head, or is there a certain like incentive if you wait?
Well, it was actually 5 million because here's a story where I almost wanted to quit after hitting 1 million on TikTok, and this was about 3 or 4 years ago.
Why'd you want to quit? What were the challenges? Obviously a lot.
Well, of course, around that time, it was pandemic. Okay. People had a lot of like hate just living inside of them, and just a lot of like angst, I think, for just being trapped inside all day. So I would get a lot of hate comments just for like no reason, like your ears are too big. I would do these Japanese skits where they're like, actually, why is he so like focused on Japanese? All these, he's not even full Japanese. He's half Japanese. And it's like, it's just so many things that didn't make any sense. And I was like, I want to quit because I just can't handle this. Like, I can't handle getting torn apart online all the time. And then I was complaining to my dad and another creator, Jeannie Weenie. She's like a mom to me, like my LA mom. We've been friends since we had 100K on TikTok. I called her first when I hit 1 million. She was like, Ian, that's so awesome. And I was like, yeah, but I want to quit because I just can't take it anymore. All these hate comments are just getting to me. And she was like, Ian, you're talented at what you do. You can literally keep growing if you just keep going at this. She had 2 million at that time. And I just looked up to her so much because she had such great engagement. And I just wanted to get to where she was. And she was like, I have days where people get hate. Every single creator gets hate comments. A
lot of hate all day.
Yep. Her at is my
healthy dish.
My healthy dish. Yep. Yes. She's awesome. Also on the top creators
list.
You'll
see her tonight.
Yeah. And she sent me her book. It's super awesome. Love you. She said in the Forbes upfronts that if you're not getting hate comments, if you're getting hate comments, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Because people are, it's a reflection of themselves, because they obviously, there's no reason to put a hate comment if you don't want to be doing what someone else is doing. It makes no sense. It's
they're jealous. They're jealous. They're haters.
Yeah. And so
they're sad behind all that mad.
Exactly. So that's basically what she told me. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I guess you're right. I got to keep going. And then I told my dad, and my dad was just like, Ian, get your head out of your ass. You have 1 million followers. $1 per follower, that's $1 million. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And I'm a very firm believer in writing down your goals and breaking them down into short-term goals, and really, because we all know what we need to do to achieve our goals. We just got to make it happen. But writing it down is a first step, because you're doing something to make it real. Yeah. And so that night I wrote on a paper, like, I need to get to 5 million followers before the end of the year. End of the next year. And that was, or end of the year, because it was January or December the year before. And wrote down my short-term goals, all these things, how much I want to make. I think it was $100,000. And it was, and I also wrote down, like, I have to move back to LA. Okay. Because I was living with my parents in Colorado at that time. I just graduated college, and I decided, let me live with my parents, save some money, and yeah.
Good goals. Make 100K and move out from home. That makes sense. Yeah.
And get to 5 million followers. Okay. And then I left that on the kitchen table on accident, and it was at night. And then I didn't want anyone to see it, so I went to sleep, and then forgot it there. Next day, I was like, oh shoot, I left it downstairs. I hope my parents didn't see it. And I come down, I'm like, hey Mom, did you see the paper on the table I left there? And she was like, yeah, Dad saw it. It's on the fridge.
She's like, we have it framed. It's framed. Yeah. It's framed in the living room.
Oh my God. And I was like, what did Dad say? And my mom said, yeah, he said it was cute. Yeah.
Cute.
And I was like, oh my God.
Thanks, Dad.
Now I have to make it happen. And so I
bet part of you intentionally left it out there because you knew your dad, the military man, would make you do it.
Possibly. I mean, possibly, yeah. But yeah, then at that point I was like, okay, there's no quitting now. There's no going back now. I have to do this thing. And a month later I moved back to California. At first I moved back close to my college because that's where I knew rent would be cheap. Yep. And then rent situation didn't work out. So I was like, all right, so the universe told me I got to move to LA. And then I did. Made a bunch of friends, learned, always surrounded myself with people who were bigger than me. Yep. And knew more than me or were older than me, because those were the ones I could always learn from. Or just people in general that I could always learn something from. And you can learn something from everybody, but in terms of what I wanted to do. Yeah. So, and then just went at it. And then the first month there, I just grew from like 1.7 to 3 million. And then at 3 million decided, I'm in LA, let me do this thing. Then it just skyrocketed to 10 million by the end of the year.
Well, I want to talk real quick about, you mentioned the hate you get online. And I know all creators get hate. It's part of, unfortunately, the deal. Yeah. And I've heard all of advice, like
it's good though.
Who was telling me? Danny Austin, who was on the show, she says post and ghost.
So she's like, I remember she said that. Yeah.
Post and not, don't look in the comments. Other people, they basically have their assistants go through the comments so they can get feedback from what people want, but kind of as a shield, so you're not getting like that really vicious, mean things, which is crazy. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with that constant hate? Obviously there's fans, but there's also just trolls and just some very unhappy people out there that are looking to abuse.
Well, I mean, I'll mention something that like I was afraid to mention before, but now like talking about it to other creators, like I'm so much more comfortable with it. There was a point in time where like someone tried to just like not really cancel, because it was a really silly thing, but it was just like a weird. And this guy ended up getting canceled for something later on. But basically, what had happened was I posted a video series about like, it's not called this, it's called that for Japanese things. Okay. So I did a video where it's like, it's not called soy sauce, it's called shoyu. So when you go to Japan, make sure to say do. And soy sauce is not Japanese. And I knew that, but I was like just posting it as like a video to post. And then someone took it out of context.
Soy sauce is I mean, it's part of Japanese culture, right?
It is in Japanese culture. Yeah. I think it's originally from China.
Oh, well, everything's from somewhere.
Exactly. And so this person like stitched it, mocked me, was like, actually, it is called soy sauce. And actually, it's not even Japanese. So many things. And then both those videos got a couple million views, thousands of comments just like either defending me or going way against me, saying like, why is this guy gatekeeping soy sauce? Like, Oliver soy sauce. And I had that was the first time where I was so overwhelmed, I had to take a break from social media. And I literally, like, my parents took me on a hike. Like, they were really worried for me. And I think I got a little depressed over it. I was like, this is thousands of people, like, just dragging me across the
over
internet.
a food item.
Over a food
that
item.
you're helping explain how to translate it in a different
What?
language. Like, this is,
And after some time to think on it, I actually called this guy because we had some mutual friends. And I was like, I actually just thanked him because I was like, hey, this happening made me realize I don't want to be teaching Japanese online. Like, that's not what I want to do. I want to make people laugh, feel something, like make skits, act, write. And after I came back, I did that. I posted a skit for the first time in a long time, and that one got over a couple million views. And I was like, oh, I can do whatever I want on here. I don't have to be doing what I think I have to do because I have to people please or whatever. And that gave me really thick skin. So I have no problem looking at hate comments. If something's like really derogatory against like me or my race or a different race or like something like this that shouldn't be online, then I'll delete it.
Gotcha.
But if it's like why are your ears like that or something like about my like facial feature or like whatever, I'm just gonna leave it on there because I know that my followers will either defend me or it'll like start like a swarm of comments.
Or it's just ridiculous. You know, it's
or it's just like you're making a fool out of yourself by commenting this. So I'll just leave it there because you put it there and it's going to help me in my video anyways. Yeah.
You mentioned moving to LA and like, did you find when you get like, you had like 1 million followers in 5, then it jumped, like, do you find like, does it grow exponentially? Like once you start getting bigger, do your jumps get bigger? Yeah,
I think the waterfall effect is definitely real. Like it starts with one drop and then boom, 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 boom. And then all of a sudden you got a waterfall going. But I think like, I guess waterfalls do kind of go on forever, but you got to also know when it's time to like grow out of something.
Okay.
Because for me, the POVs did really well, like previous storytelling, short film type videos did really well on TikTok. And then they did grow my YouTube and Instagram, but then YouTube started liking a different kind of content more and Instagram started liking a different kind of content more. Instagram's audience became older and I guess like around my age, like late high school and above.
Yeah.
And then YouTube became really like middle school, early high school and lower. And TikTok, I think, is a mixture of everybody. And so my YouTube content, I started making different content for different platforms. My YouTube became a lot more silly, like a part of me that is very like Jim Carrey-like, very animated, and that I enjoy doing. Just making people, young people, kids laugh and all that. And then Instagram started to become more real and like grounded acting. And it became a platform for me to like test out what I've been practicing in classes and like really just creating cinematic stuff. And then TikTok kind of became a mixture of both those things, just testing out what's working. So you got to always be studying and learning what's going because the POVs that got 10 million views every single video, of course, slowly and surely got down to like 5 million, like bouncing around 5 to 10. And then I had to
it's still massive, but I love how you have to always adapt in this world.
Yeah, I mean, even Mr. Beast talked about how like you can't keep a series going for too long. You have to know when it's dying out because biggest actors in the world, like The Rock's the most followed actor in the world, I think. And he does so many different roles. He's the same person every single movie because he's found out what he's good at, but does different things all the time.
Yep, different types of movies.
Yeah.
What is your audience like in terms of like what's the age? Does it skew male, female? Is it broken down even? Like what's kind of the background?
Instagram's 50-50.
Okay.
I try to make content for everybody because one, it's great for brands because I want to work with every brand possible that is in good stature and that is that supports my creativity, my creative freedom, and is forward towards my goals as well. Which is almost every brand out there, but it's about 50-50 male, female on Instagram, and YouTube around the same, a little more in the male because it's very comedic and I'm a guy, and I guess guys can relate to that a little bit more. And then TikTok is 50-50 as well. And YouTube, I want to say it's funny because it goes from like 18 and below is like very big, and it'll like it's still big, but a little bit smaller in like the 20s range, and then 30 to 40, it just jumps again because all the kids are watching it. And that's really good because they'll grow up with me.
Yeah.
It's like I grew up with my favorite YouTubers and actors. And
so it's like kids watching on their parents' accounts?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
And they'll subscribe on their parents' accounts. So parents will sometimes like stop me at a mall and be like, "Oh my God, my son watches you." And I'm like, wow, even you. People will stop my like assistant while he's walking my dog. I do walk my dog too, but sometimes my assistant needs to walk my dog, so I'm busy. But people stop my assistant because they recognize my dog on the street. Yeah.
Even your dog's famous.
Yeah, she's killing it. She's awesome. She's doing her own little thing growing up. Yeah, and then Instagram kind of like where that age range kind of dips in YouTube a little bit. Instagram is where I get that audience because they're more on Instagram.
Gotcha.
Like the 18 to like 24 or 30. Yeah.
What is the Ian Boggs business today? How do you make money today? I know you do a lot, and I know you're doing a lot of movie things as well.
Oh yeah. The business today is, geez, I've been doing a lot more acting stuff. That's been really awesome, and that's what I want to head more towards too. I'm never gonna leave social media. That's something I think I understand super well now, and it's only gonna help me in everything else I want to do, making movies, acting, all that stuff.
What kind of acting are you doing right now?
I like to do every single role.
What kind of acting are you getting paid for right now? What current thing? What are we going to see you?
What
are we going to see you in coming?
I usually go out for like I just did one in New Jersey recently. It was like a micro budget independent film, but I was a love interest. I usually go out for an audition for roles where I'm like the lead love interest kind of guy,
rom-com guy.
Yeah, but my goal, of course, is like I want to be a Marvel superhero. I want to be an action hero. Like my biggest inspiration is Johnny Depp. But I also love how Ryan Reynolds and The Rock turned their careers into businesses.
Yeah.
That's what I look at a lot as well. Jim Carrey's an inspiration, and Leonardo DiCaprio is a great actor.
Yeah, we had Ryan Reynolds speak at our Iconoclast Summit, which is like our big finance summit.
That's awesome.
Amazing what he did with buying the soccer team, buying Wrexham, then building a whole ecosystem on that. What he does for his whole like marketing campaign, like
social
media, and also his marketing agencies, and he creates like Aviator Gin, then uses all of his talents and his connections to market it for free. It's very, it's very interesting.
Throws Deadpool into there. Yeah. He does Marvel collabs you don't see in the movies on his own YouTube, which is like why isn't every other Marvel actor doing that? You know, like there's so much power in that. But the things I would do if I was, in this, but I got to work towards getting to those shoes.
Do you make most of your money now though? Do you make it on brand deals? Do you make it on AdSense? Do you make it on streams? What's your bread? How do you pay the bills?
I would say right now it's more so brand deals. AdSense is like a good constant flow. AdSense is like I would say the stable bread and butter because you always kind of know what it's going to be like every month, depending on how much you're posting, how viral you're going for. Sometimes I know for a lot of creators, it's the same where some months are going to be a little bit lower because one, like the quarters exist, like quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter 3 and 4 are always going to pay a lot more than other quarters, at least on YouTube. And that's why a lot of YouTubers like work super hard, build up their video catalog, and then take a break in January and February because AdSense will be a little bit lower. There's that.
So YouTube slows down January, February.
Is it January, February, or like April? It slows down somewhere in the year, but it really hasn't for me in the past couple of years because Shorts Fund exists now. Not Shorts Fund. It's the Shorts AdSense share that they do, and Shorts is actually starting to go up in AdSense now, along with the long form. Yeah. But I would say because I've been doing a lot more brand deals and I'm more focused towards working with like production companies, streamers like Netflix, Sony, Amazon, Hulu, all of them, HBO, like they give a great amount of creative freedom and they make great activations to make great brand deal, branded content that seems authentic and real to the creator. I've been focused on those, and those have been paying out well as well. So.
Wow, very cool. Yeah. What has been your biggest surprise in this whole creator journey?
Biggest surprise? How many opportunities there really are. Like when you really go for it and work your ass off to like make things happen. Because I feel like I sacrificed everything to move out to LA. When I first moved out here, I was like living meal to meal. Like I would meal prep every Sunday and like I literally only had abs because I was starving, and I was like working out every day just to like stay healthy and not be too anxious.
That'd be a good T-shirt. I only have abs because I'm starving.
So, yeah, that is a good T-shirt. You have to.
You probably offend a lot of people, but that's okay.
You're right. Yeah. But
I mean, if you get in trouble for soy sauce, you can't throw starving on a t-shirt.
You're right. No. Can't do that. Biggest surprise is how much opportunity there is. How much opportunity there is to make more money. Because of course, sometimes you have to say no to a brand deal because you're stuck in a different partnership or whatever. But then it works out later on where you get out of the partnership. You have things just work out in their own way. But how many opportunities there are, because it's insane. I mean, Forbes, this is an incredible opportunity. I can't pass.
Thanks for joining me, man.
I know. Thank you for having me. I would give you a hug if Mike's from there. But I mean, how much opportunity there is when you really just let go of who you think you should be and just be yourself. I mean, what's trending really a lot right now on TikTok especially is people who are just being themselves in front of a camera. Who's that one girl, the blonde girl who just took off out of nowhere?
I'm not sure. You know more than me.
Forgot, but she just does those get ready with me videos. I don't know. But she took off randomly just for being herself, and I'm like,
Alex Earl?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. She's a Forbes under 30 and
sick.
top creator too. Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
She's a Jersey girl too. So shout out to Monmouth County, Alex Earl.
The girl who cooks for her kids and husband a very fancy way. I forgot. There's that girl too. I mean, it's just people just being themselves, and that's inspired me as well because I'm constantly looking at what's trending, and of course I'm a little more focused on YouTube and Instagram right now, and I love TikTok so much. I love it so much.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of where my personality headed to, and I know eventually I'm gonna have more time and dedication to focus more towards TikTok and all the platforms more again. I mean, there's Snapchat, Facebook. Chinese platforms now. There's Samsung is coming out with their own there's so many things.
Too many platforms.
LinkedIn. But yeah, it's just catering to all of them. I don't know. There's so much.
So it's wild. It's too much to keep up with. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like another platform. If you were starting out today in social media, what advice would you give yourself? What tips?
Be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself.
Yeah, but everyone says that.
Everyone says that? Okay,
give me some
right.
actionable stuff.
It's so cliche, but it's true because
everyone's gonna be themselves.
I would say this. I guess from a more analytical standpoint. This is what I tell every single person who wants to go into social media because this is facts. No BS. This is facts. There are at least 3 things that you enjoy doing more than anything else. I wouldn't say choose those 3 things. I would say choose one of those things that you really, really enjoy doing, that you like more than anyone else you know. Look it up on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. The blueprint's there for people who are making videos about it and succeeding. Gary Vee said this. If you like Smurfs for no reason, look up Smurfs and
be the Smurf
guy. Yeah. And eventually another Smurf movie will come out and you'll make a lot of money from that.
And I'm sure there's a Smurf guy, gal, whatever out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I mean, I love Naruto so much. So I made
what?
Naruto. It's the biggest anime ever. Naruto.
Okay, cool.
And they're making a movie
I'm not a big anime guy.
Oh, you're good. Lionsgate. Ooh, I gotta leave now. Then I'm sorry.
Okay, you're right.
No,
we got most of it in. So we're set.
Lionsgate is making a Naruto movie now, and one thing I would always say in my long form videos was, one day I'm gonna host the world's biggest Naruto run. And Naruto run is you're running like this, and I had to hold off.
You have to run with your hands behind your back.
Yeah, you're running behind your back like an anime ninja character.
Okay.
And
would you do the New York Marathon in that pose?
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I could do that. It's a good video.
That's a lot of lower body work.
Oh yeah. I think a video I had where I would run it's a video idea that I had where I would run a marathon as Naruto, like a Naruto run. But I didn't do it because I wanted to wait until the Naruto movie comes out because there will be so much more hype around it. And there's stuff like that. There's something that you love more than anything else, and if you can find a way to build a career out of it and look at what's trending around it, what's worked on the internet, and just finding a way to make it you and posting every single day, no excuses, literally every single day, something is going to hit. And I would say if you're first starting out, at least 3 times a day, because there is so much content out there, so much, if you're one little wave, there are so many tidal waves out there that, Haley Cleo, she posts 5 times a day. You gotta beat out a million people who are posting 5 times a day to really stand out, especially in the beginning. So post at least 3 times a day, like when you're first starting out, and eventually something will stick. It has to. It's just facts. Something has to stand out.
Wow. And on that, we got to close up in a second, but on that note, the idea of posting 3 times a day, especially something creative or funny, it's so hard to be funny.
It's hard.
It's hard to be funny once a week, let alone 3 times a day.
Yeah.
How do you come up with your ideas for content?
Yep.
And what advice do you have for folks, even like me, who need help with like creative ideas and how to create once a day, let alone 3 times a day?
Yeah, I mean, the blueprint is there. It's literally when you're scrolling through Reels, you're seeing videos that are already catered towards you that make you laugh and are funny. So if you can, I mean, save those like somehow in your notes, whatever. Instagram literally has their own, you can save it into a playlist, like stuff like that. Send it to yourself. I send videos to myself all the time. It might be a little lonely and depressing, but I do it all the time so that I can look back on it and be like, oh, that was cool. How can I remake it in my own way? So that it sticks with my audience, but also reaches a broader audience and bigger audience. I don't know. It's literally there. Like anyone can do it. And that's the thing, because anyone can do it. It's so much harder. And because people think they can do it, they're going to leave hate comments, but are they doing it? No. Like everyone has at least like, when I first started, I think I only slept like 3 hours a night when the first week. Cause I was like, I was going to make a YouTube video called How to Go Viral on TikTok. Okay. I hadn't gone viral yet. So I made like a little blueprint. I was like, this is what I'm going to do for a week straight. I'm going to post 10 times a day and see what happens. And then I ended up never posting that YouTube video because by the end of the week, I had gotten to 10K. Wow. I just kept it going until I got to 100K in a month. And then I posted 3 times a day, every single day for another 6 months, and got to, I think like that's when I got to 3 million. And I moved out of my house that I graduated from in California, and then moved in with my parents for I think another 5 months, then moved back to LA.
Just grinding out, man.
Grinding out.
No sleep, high energy.
And at that time, I was also still working as a photographer. I was still a student in college. It was spring break, so I did have a little more time. But I spent my last spring break of college grinding on TikTok and going live literally all night and posting 3 videos a day. And just like looking at what's trending on the For You page. For You page was very different back then. This was 3 or 4 years ago, but it's still a For You page. There's still videos there. It's still the same thing. It just looks a little different.
Perfect.
Yeah.
A lot of work. Overnight success, 10 years in the making, right? That's what they say.
Yeah. I mean, my first video, I posted it 2011, and things didn't pop off until 2021. Like really pop off.
Incredible.
10 years. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Ian Boggs, Forbes top creator, Forbes 30 under 30. Maybe Forbes billionaire list someday. Who knows?
Hopefully. I mean, that's the goal.
You don't want $1 billion. You want just like 500 million.
I want $1 billion.
Fine. You want $1 billion?
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first,
Before 40. That's mine.
Right. 10 videos a day. Here we go.
Yeah.
Ian, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.